Chapter 2. Justice, Righteous, Words of Wisdom. The golden rule of life is to test everything in the light of reason, and to awaken reason is to inculcate the ability of discrimination between good and evil. Man is the most wonderful creation of God on the earth. He possesses certain qualities that no other creature has. Besides, man has been blessed by God with unique mental faculties and abilities to differentiate between right and wrong. Man has been very ambitious since the beginning, and with his ambitious nature, he has achieved success in all spheres of life. But only ambitions cannot make him a great human being. Humanity demands different virtues and different morals and ethical values. The capability of judgment is one of them. If a person is not able to differentiate between right and wrong, then he is not a human being in the true sense. Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation and a great saint of modern world, has rightly said, "The golden rule of life is to test everything in the light of reason, and to awaken reason is to inculcate the ability of discrimination between the good and the evil." Our culture believes in the principle of live and let others to live. For the smooth functioning of the society, there are certain laws that have to be observed by everyone. Read the following story. Madhav Rao, a wise ruler of medieval era, became the king at the age of 16, but he had a great vision, immense intelligence, and the wisdom of judging what was right and what was wrong. In those days, the rich and eminent persons were known as chiefs. They had their own permanent armies. The king gave them a lot of money and other help for the training of their armies. Madhav Rao came to know through one of his ministers that there were many chiefs who took money from the state but did not keep their armies as per the norms of the agreement. Madhav Rao thought of an idea. He sent a word to all of his chiefs to be present with their armies on a fixed date and warned them that if anyone dares not to turn up, his entire property would be confiscated. One of the chiefs was the maternal uncle of Madhav Rao. He refused to follow the norms. He was not afraid of the king, as he thought,
"Madhav is the son of my sister. He will not do any harm to me."
So, he did not turn up with his army on the due date. Madhav Rao immediately sent word to him to be present in the royal court with his army. Otherwise, there would be serious consequences for him. When Madhav Rao's maternal uncle got this message, he was afraid for the first time. He immediately went to his sister, the mother of Madhav Rao, and explained the entire problem to her. She called Madhav Rao and said, "Dear son, would you confiscate your maternal uncle's property? I think you can't do that. After all, he's your uncle and my brother. You should have some soft corner for him." Madhav Rao said very humbly,
"Respected mother, all are equal in the eyes of the state. My teacher has taught me this lesson. So, if he has not followed certain norms, he should follow them now."
So, Dear children, it is the demand of justice that everyone should work in the interest and welfare of the society and the nation. Justice and discipline are like the two sides of a coin. So be disciplined and have faith in justice. Read another story. Jahangir, a Mughal emperor, was famous for his justice. So was Ashoka the Great. There is an interesting story about him. One day, Ashoka went in disguise to see the condition of his subjects. At night, he knocked at the door of a poor Brahmin, who treated him very gently. His name was Shishupal. Shishupal was poor but fearless, truthful, and a man of good character. Ashoka discussed with him some of the major problems of his subjects. Shishupal explained to him all the evils like injustice, crimes, misconduct of government officers and ministers, etc., without any fear. Ashoka was very much impressed but did not disclose his identity and said to him,
"If you are made the law minister, what will be your plan of action?"
Shishupal gave the answer very humbly.
Sir, I don't know who you are, but if I'm lucky enough to be the law minister of my state, I will definitely ensure perfect order in the state in only 1 month time.
Only in 1 month? Don't you think 1 month is not enough for it?
Asked Ashoka.
No, sir. 1 month is quite enough. If justice is strictly implemented, evildoers will vanish within no time.
Replied Shishupal. Ashoka left his house early in the morning. After many days, some of Ashoka's soldiers came to Shishupal's house and told him that the king had sent for him. He was surprised to know that his guest that night had been Emperor Ashoka himself. When Shishupal reached the court, Ashoka reminded him of his discussion about restoring justice in the state within 1 month. Shishupal replied in the affirmative with utmost confidence. Ashoka made him the law minister immediately. In a very short period, Shishupal restored justice. Emperor Ashoka was surprised to see his ability, but he now wanted to examine his justice, impartiality, efficiency, and sincerity. So, one night he himself killed a guard. Next morning, the emperor asked Shishupal to find out the reason of the murder and also to produce the murderer in the court within a week's time. On the 7th day, the nobles and a large number of people assembled in the court. The prestige and fate of Shishupal was at stake. Soon after the proceedings of the court had started, Shishupal ordered his soldiers to detain Ashoka. Everyone was surprised, but Shishupal had definite proofs of the murder. The punishment awarded was execution. Being a king, Ashoka could not have been executed, so a statue of his was hanged instead. Everyone admired and applauded Shishupal. Dear children, believe in justice. The preamble of the Indian Constitution, which is considered to be the most ideal in the world, reveals its objectives as under: we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. So, in Indian Constitution too, justice has received much importance. This is the reason that Indian Constitution makes provisions for an independent judiciary. Here the judges are appointed by the President and they are very impartial. The value of justice motivates a person towards dignity of labor. Several of you may have household servants, watchmen, gardeners, or drivers, etc. The harmonious and mutual relationship between the owner and the worker is the demand of justice. Think if you are kind and sympathetic towards them. Unfortunately, a large majority of people do not believe in justice. They do not have the wisdom to judge what is wrong and what is right. They are selfish and self-centered. They do not pay due honor to the human rights. On the other hand, they believe in the justice which is favorable to them. We must remember the fact that all human beings are born free, equal in dignity, and are entitled to human rights. So, children have a great feeling of respect, love, affection, and sympathy for others. Obey the rules of the school and the society. Suppress injustice wherever it exists. Work hard to enable your nation to develop in all the fields. Only then you can say that you believe in justice. Have the power to judge between good and evil.